These state-owned apartments in central Tripoli have now become a makeshift shelter for families who've fled the war on the southern outskirts of the Libyan capital. They say they cannot afford to rent a house. Nylon sheets used as cover give little protection from the wind and dust. Even providing light for families in distress is beyond many here. Others use a wood fire to cook and keep themselves warm during the cold weather. For these children, it's a tough place to grow up, but their parents say it's much safer than the area they left behind, which faced random rocket attacks.
Heavy fighting has forced us out of our homes. Rockets were landing in our area near the old airport.
They rely on donations for food. Some search for what fits them from these donated clothes. Nadia Bel'eid says her house in the Ain Zara neighborhood in southern Tripoli is now in the middle of a battlefield. She now shares this open space with 3 other families.
We have been waiting for the war to end, but it hasn't. We have nowhere to go. You cannot rent a house for less than $500 a month. My husband is on a pension and my son is sick. We take shelter in our being together with the other families here, but sometimes it rains upon us.
Forces loyal to the UN-recognized government in Tripoli have been resisting an offensive by those loyal to the warlord Khalifa Haftar. The 8-month battle for control has taken a toll on civilians. Hundreds have been killed or wounded by random fire or airstrikes. Nearly 130,000 people have left their homes. Some displaced families live with their relatives. Others left the country. A number of schools have turned into a makeshift shelter. And with the arrival of winter, those who live here in this unfinished compound are worried their situation could get worse. Over the past 7 years, several housing projects have been halted by political division and a lack of security. And the high number of internally displaced people has created a huge demand for housing.
Rent prices started increasing when the war started in the east of the country in 2014 because most of the displaced people moved to Tripoli. Since the war spread westward in April, landlords have been doubling prices because there are no cost controls.
The displaced families have been protesting, demanding the government provide compensation for their destroyed houses. Nadia says other people who were not displaced took advantage of the chaos and occupied apartments in this compound. But as the fighting gets closer to the city center, the number of displaced people is likely to rise, and vulnerable people like Nadia will face more tough days ahead.